Hello, my friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to episode 88 of Why Did I Buy This? This series started as a way to help my crafters find unique ways to use products that they have in their collection. It's also a great series for new crafters who are wondering what they need to be successful. My name is Lindsay, and I am the team leader of Cloud9 Stampers. And I've been a demonstrator for, we're getting close to 20 years. So it has been a pleasure to be able to share some of the things that I've learned over the years with you guys and share some of the things I'm working on in my studio. When you tune in, please say hi, share your name, tell me where you're tuning in from. It's always fun to see where you are from and what you're up to. It is a little bit warm here in Edmonton. I know you guys have been hearing me complain about the cold for a while, but it's actually warming up. So that is a great sign. We're not that far from spring, right? Speaking of spring, I got my hair done, trying to get a little bit of a spring refresh. So, good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Jocelyn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we, what 2 months away from spring? We're on the uptick when it comes to the light. So if you're from south, you might not know this, but we have very little sunlight where I live in the wintertime. So in the thick of winter, the sun sets around 4 in the afternoon and it doesn't rise again till almost 9 in the morning. Yeah, that's like in December, in the end of December. So we're on the swing back up to getting light. The beauty of it, of course, is in the summer, we get very little darkness. So usually the sun sets around 11 p.m.-ish, and it comes up again around 3 to 4 in the morning. I know. Yeah, it's fun in the summer. In the winter, it's very dark. So I think that's why we get caught up in talking about the weather all the time. Happy Friday, friends. Oh, chilly in South Carolina, too. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's so funny. Jacqueline, happy Friday. Okay, so as a reminder, the best compliment you can give me is to share this video. So please go ahead and hit the share button now, and then your friends can tune in live and watch the projects along with you. Now, today's projects are using a new to me product. This is from our new mini catalog, and it is, you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Vellum. I love Vellum. I've always loved Vellum. So anytime we come out with new Vellum products, I am so, so happy. So today we're going to be working with the new Vellum 12x12 layering designs. So it has some great designs, and one of the things that you'll notice is I've gone through so much of it already, and that's a sign of a great product, because when you're using it up, that means that you love it, and it's okay to do that. How many of you find that you sometimes hoard your products that you love, especially paper? I'm telling you, use it up. You can always buy more, right? And there's something very satisfying about seeing an empty package of your product. So go ahead and use it. I'm giving you permission. Okay, I'm gonna do the awkward transition. I'm gonna switch you around so you can see my hands, and we're gonna get started on a few very fun projects today. Okay, ready? And here we go. Let me get you set up in my little camera here. Gotta get my light all ready to go and make sure that this isn't gonna zip around during my thing. Sorry, I'm like making you guys seasick right now. Okay, there we go. So here is the product that I'm referring to. It's in the mini catalog. So it's called Vellum 12x12 Layering Designs. In Canada, it's $13.50. And it comes with multiple sheets of 12x12 paper. There's 12 sheets in total, 4 each of 3 designs. And these are the only 2 sheets I have left. So that just goes to show how much I have loved this paper. Yeah, it's been so fun to play with. So let me get you into the start of these projects here. So starting with the first one. So one of the products that came out that I'm like so excited about is the Cloud, because you guys know my team is called Cloud9 Stampers. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's made for me. It's made for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some of our layering vellum, and we're going to punch that out. This one's really fun because it's got scripty kind of writing going in all sorts of directions. So there's really no right or wrong side up. With the vellum, you will notice that one side is printed dark And then the other side, that's how you can tell it's the back of the paper. Of course, you can use any one that you wanted, just depending on how dark you wanted that. But this is intended to be the right side up. And the nice thing is even though it's scripty, it really isn't words that you can read or understand. So like when you're just looking at it as a detail on your project, it's not a big deal if it's right side up or not. Okay, so we've got our 3 clouds, and then I'm going to bring in 3 pieces of paper. So I have Flirty Flamingo, Pool Party, and Mango Melody. So we're going to punch out 3 clouds. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you for sharing the video, friends. I saw a few of you said that you hit share, and I really appreciate that. Okay. Now we're going to layer these. So instead of coloring directly on the vellum, we're going to use the Designer Series paper as a background for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my adhesive. And like with vellum, you do have to be cautious about where you put the adhesive because you can see it through. But I find that the writing is distracting enough that it's not really going to make a difference on this. So we're just going to go ahead and give that a press. And we're going to do the same with all 3 colors. So I'm going to do it on the blue. And we're going to do it on the Mango Melody too. How many of you have this paper at home already? And here's the question. Have you opened it and played with it, or are you holding on to it? You'll want to make sure that you use it up. Okay, and just like that. Okay, so there's our 3 little clouds. I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white, and we are going to add a little bit of detail to the background. So I'm bringing in my blending brush. Hello, beautiful. I've had some questions recently about cleaning these, and I wanted to let you know that although mine is not been cleaned, you can go ahead and transfer between blues if you wanted to just not worry about cleaning them in between. But if you just wanted to go ahead and get a couple of them, you can run them under the sink and they clean beautifully. Like it literally just runs off. So yeah, go ahead and reuse your blending brushes. You don't need to buy 17 million to match up with all your colors. Okay, I'm just going to bring in a pad of scrap paper here so that I can not mess up my backdrop. Okay, we're going to do some coloring, and we're going to just tap off some of the excess. And then I'm going to bring this in. So this is Coastal Cabana I'm using on the background. We're going to ink up and switch it around. And keep going. Blending brushes are so much fun, and there's some really great masks in our new mini catalog that I've been having some fun with my blending brushes. So if you're taking my class this month, you are going to get to appreciate some of those masks. Okay, so there we've got our blended background. I'm going to bring in my light basic black, and I'm just going to do a tiny little splatter. So just like that, just to give a little bit of fun detail in the background. And now we're going to start creating our little sky here. So I'm going to use my adhesive to add the Pool Party cloud to the top here. And we're just going to go on top like that. Then I'm going to bring in my Mango Melody cloud. And we're going to use some dimensionals to layer that on. So this is going to layer on like so. And then we're going to use adhesive again to put the Flirty Flamingo one on the bottom. Just like that. Now I wanted to create a sun, and so I was a little bit stuck because I don't have a die that has a sun. So what I did is I looked through some of the other dies that I have, and I brought out my Dandy Wishes dies, and right away you can see that there's these great dandelion dies, but they're stylized so that you can use them to be able to create a sun. So the first one has a little stem, so I'm just going to cut that off with my snips. And then we're going to layer that with a dimensional. And we're just going to offset it so that we can create our little sun here. Just like that. And I'm going to use a dimensional again. And we're going to layer it underneath the clouds just like that. So then you get the clouds with the sun. So let me show you the finished project. I've used the Greetings Slim Sayings for all of my cards today. This is it's a bundle with a die that is intended for Slimline cards, and I do have a Slimline card today, so I'll talk a little bit more about what those are. But I love that these greetings are nice and bold and long, so they've got lots of coverage. So let me show you what I mean by that. Here's the finished project. So you can see that fills up the side of the card, and then I've added those iridescent rhinestones. You guys know those are my fave. So yeah, just makes for a really cute project. If you like my projects, go ahead and give me some hearts. It always makes me feel good on a Friday. Okay, so that's project number 1. Let's move on to project number 2. So this time I brought in my favorite new die set. This one is called the Beautiful Shapes Dies. And what I love about this is it comes with a few different shapes, but it also has shapes that have texture to them. So what I mean by that is this circle, you can see, will cut out a circle, but it also impresses that little scripty scribble in there too. And it does that for the oval and for another little oval here. So love, love, love me these Beautiful Shapes dies. So I've already gone ahead and used the Big Boss to cut out a map and a coordinating basic white circle. Okay, I'm gonna bring back in my scrap paper here, and we are going to use our blends to do some coloring on the vellum. So blends are the preferred marker for vellum because blends will, the alcohol evaporates and leaves the pigment, so it sticks to basically anything. So we're gonna go ahead and just color on top. I've got light misty moonlight, and I'm gonna do just a few scribbles along here. And then we have dark pool party. So just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my alcohol. So I just have rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle, and we're going to give it a little spray, and we're trying to kind of like drip it. You can use your water painters too if you like. I've just like sanitized my hands at the same time, so it's like a twofer. Okay, so now we've got some alcohol that's going to interact with our blends. So alcohol with alcohol is going to make it run, and that's going to give us some really fun vellum effects. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of give it a little more in the corners here, like that. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my heat tool, and just for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to speed it up. So what we want it to do is evaporate, and the alcohol is going to interact and make all of these fun designs, just like this. But we're just going to speed up the interaction here. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to bring in my punch. So this is using the sailboat punch, and I'm just going to use black. My friend Alana Worf sent me a swap card when she had this black silhouette. I think Stampin' Up! Posted it recently too, of the sailboat, and I was like, ooh, that's such a good idea to just do the black silhouette. So we're going to use mini glue dots. I found that's the easiest way to stick down the sailboat part of it. So I'm just going to grab a couple here for the boat. And then for the flag, I'm going to use my thumb and just roll it up, and you can just grab it and then stick it here, just like that. So we are going to layer this onto the map, just like so. Now I'm going to bring in the little sails part of it, and we're going to add a dimensional to the one side, and this is going to stick on just like so. And then this one is going to go here, just like so. So that's what we've got for the sailboat. I don't know why my sailboat is crooked. That looks really weird to me. Let me just fix this. The nice thing about working with vellum is you do have a little bit of time to maneuver stuff. Okay, sorry, this just looks weird to me. I don't like it. Okay, and okay, that looks better. Haha. Okay. Like that. Now we have a place to be able to hide our adhesive if you prefer. So we can go ahead and just layer that. But like I said, when you've got the designs on the vellum, it's not as vital to hide the adhesive. But when you layer that onto the white, it really helps to show the alcohol that we have added to the blends to make it look more like water on the map. Okay, next I brought in some background, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the Abstract Beauty 4x6 Designer Series paper is so cute. So let me show you what I mean. I've already dug into this and like made tons of projects. So this is only like a very small portion of it. But you can see that there's lots of different designs to play with. And it's specialty paper. So when you flip it over, you can see that there's all sorts of embossed layers to that paper. So I went ahead and dug out this one. So it already has the look of like a sky or water. And then we're going to cut off just that 1-inch strip so that we can have it fit onto our cardstock. So we just want to have it 1 inch, just like that. So then this is going to layer onto our backdrop like so. The small boat punch is in the mini catalog, the new mini catalog. Okay, let me show you the finished project. Okay, look how elegant and fun that is. So I just went ahead and added a ribbon to the top. I used that Slim Saying stamp set and added "You Really Are Fabulous." And there is the background that we've created with that little map. Fun, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And again, this is a great card for like nephews or uncles or your dad. I just think it does have a little bit more of a masculine feel to it. Okay, we're gonna move on to the final project. So this is the PYP card. If you are new here, then just a heads up, the PYP stands for Pee Your Pants card. So this is a card that is just so fun to make that when you see how it's done, you'll wanna pee your pants. Okay, I have a piece of cardstock that is 3 inches by 5.5, and I am bringing in a punch from the annual catalog. So this one here is a jar punch, and we're just going to center it onto our paper and make sure it's even on both edges of the paper, and then push it into the punch as far as it goes, and then you can punch out the jar. But we're using the negative side of it. I'm bringing in the coordinating stamp set from the annual catalog. So this one's called Jar of Flowers. And so these images coordinate with that punch. And we're going to bring in these little tulip flowers. So I'm going to grab Memento ink, the black ink, and drop my stamp. And then we're going to ink up the flowers, and we're going to stamp that right on top, like that. Okay, next, we're going to bring in our newsprint, and this is going to be layering underneath. And so I'm just kind of like reminding myself where the edge of that is. And then I'm going to use my stems from the same stamp set. And I'm actually just gonna go just slightly above it so that it can kind of hide. And so now we have the stems for our jar. All right, so next we're gonna bring in some blends and we can do some coloring. So Stampin' Blends are one of my favorite tools for coloring. They're just lots of fun for being able to make sure that you're getting a lot of realism in your coloring, and it just is great for a lot of techniques. So I'm just adding some dark of the pale papaya, and now we're gonna go in with the light, just like so, and fill in all of the little tulips here. Now, I'm not gonna make you watch me color the whole thing, but you can see I've got some really fun colors. This is very Easter feeling as far as colors go. So you would just go ahead and color all of the flowers, and then we are going to bring in some of the jar shakers. So these ones here, you just have to make sure that you get them apart, because see this one here has, they all have adhesive on the top and the bottom. So we are going to go ahead and peel off the top, and it helps if you've got snips, or you can use your take your pick tool and just peel that off. I find my nails never really get underneath it. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and slide this on top. So now we've got a jar where our flowers line up with. Okay, so this is gonna go on top of here like so. But in order to do that, we're going to add some color to our stem. So I'm just bringing in the dark Granny Apple Green. And again, it colors beautifully on the vellum. So we're just gonna go ahead and quickly color those stems so that, because once we seal it up, you can't go back in. So I just wanna make sure that this part is done. I usually go back and finish all the projects that I show on my lives, just because it's nice to have finished projects and not instead of partially finished. And then I'm going to bring in the frosted beads assortment. So this is part of the bubblegum suite, but I just love, love, love these. And they kind of remind me, you know, those in like flower shops, they put the those little beads and they're like, they hold water. That's kind of what they made me think of. So I'm just going ahead and pulling out the blue beads. So we're just gonna pull out a few of those. We don't need a ton, but like maybe 10. That's not blue. This is the tedious part, sorry. I could have done it ahead of time, but then you wouldn't get the full crafting experience, right? When you're being fussy like this. But the PYP cards are always a little over the top, so we gotta put in the time, right? Oops, dropping stuff. Okay, maybe like 6 more. Have you guys played with these beads yet? The nice thing about these shaker domes, and there is a shaker dome for the gumball machine, is because these are heavier, like they're not gonna stick well and they're round. So using a shaker jar is gonna make them like stay, they're gonna stay in the project. Okay, so we've got all of our little blue beads here. And then we're going to take our jar and we're going to peel off the other layer of the adhesive. And now we're going to flip this over and just kind of scoop in all of these beads. I did it a different way before, and I'm not sure why I'm doing it this way because it makes it look harder. But okay, and so we're just going to scoop these in. And I just stuck all the beads to it. See, I'm like really making this look harder than it is. Sorry about that. Okay, and now we're gonna layer that on like so. So now we have these little shaker beads. I'm going to use my snips and just trim off any of the excess newsprint that I don't need. Okay, and now we're going to bring in that blue paper, and I cut that wrong. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so I need this at 3 1/4. 3 1/4. Is that right? Yeah. There we go. Whew. Okay, so the cool thing about that is now you can see the blue through the newsprint, so it looks kind of like the jar has water in it, which is really, really fun. So we're gonna add some adhesive to the outside so that we can layer this down. And now we have that little shaker piece to it. Isn't that cool? Okay, so then I told you we were gonna talk about the Slimline cards. So Slimline cards are one of the trends in paper crafting right now, and they make for a long, skinny card. So the dimensions are 7 inches by 8 1/2. So 8 1/2 is like your normal cardstock length. Normally it would come in an 11-inch length. And so we've just cut it by 7 inches. And then you're gonna score it at 3 1/2. And I would recommend using a Simply Scored tool for this, just because when you're working with smaller lengths of paper, you can get kind of an unpleasant wrinkling happening when you fold it. So it just makes so that you get a nice clean edge to your card. I'm gonna use my bone folder and give it a press. And then this is going to layer on top like so. And I'm just going to add my adhesive like so. And then we're going to put that in the center. So this is the beginning of our Slimline card here. I'll turn it like this so you can see. Okay, I'm going to skip to the end and show you the finished card. Again, I'm bringing in the Slimline sayings, and this is how I finish it off. So there you can see is our little card. So I used a piece of Designer Series paper to wrap around the jar mouth just to make it look like it was decorated, and I added one of my genial gems to it, which coordinates so beautifully with many of the Designer Series paper. And here you can see is some of our Celebration Rewards paper that is free with a $60 order, and that's the Rainbow 6x6. Isn't that fun? So let me show you the projects again. So here we've got our Slimline card. We have our blends background card, and here we've got our using our layering with our cardstock. Fun, right? Okay, I'm going to flip you around so we can chat face to face one more time. Hello, friends. Okay, so there you have it. So that is the layering vellum designs, and it is such a fun product. You're going to want to grab some yourself. As a reminder, for the month of January and February, when you place a $60 order or greater, you are going to receive free Celebration rewards. So for every $60 that you spend, you get to choose exclusive rewards just from Stampin' Up! And of course, with every $60 you spend, I am also offering a free class. So if you spend $60, you get a class in the mail from me for free. You must be from Canada, sorry about that. And there are also some extra special rewards because this is the release of the new catalog. So this went along with my catalog release party. So go to my the project photos from today and you can see all of the extra goodies. Thank you so much for tuning in today, this happy Friday. It's always a pleasure to get to craft with you. I love seeing your comments, so please keep them coming. And yeah, again, thanks for sharing the video. It always makes my heart warm to know that you want other people to see what we're making. Okay, friends, have a happy Friday. We'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.